Greetings and welcome to Open Door Fellowship Ministries. My name is Pastor Paul Riley. We welcome you to today's message, which comes from the book of Judges, chapter 16. Today we're speaking about the spirit of Delilah, or the spirit of persuasion. So often in today's society we are fallen under the spirit of persuasion and don't even realize we are being persuaded. We should never allow persuasion to take us, but we should conquer persuasion. That's why Paul said, after seeing the goodness of God, I am persuaded that neither death nor life. It wasn't that the persuasion took over him. It was when he realized he was persuaded. Come with us today in the sanctuary and let's talk about the spirit of persuasion.
Turn with me to the book of Judges, chapter 16, verses 5. And I'm going to be skipping down to a few. Do you have it? If you have it, stand with me. Said unto her, entice him. See wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means he may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him. And will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. Somebody say money. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherein thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Samson said unto her, if you bind me with seven green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak as be another man. Jump down to verse 10. And Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if you bind me fast with new ropes, somebody say new ropes, that were never occupied, then shall I be weak as be another man. Verse 13, Delilah said unto him, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And she fastened it with a pin, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson, awake out of thy sleep. And he went forth with the pin of his beam and with the web. Jump down to 16. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, when she pressed him daily with her words. Underline that if you have writings in your Bible. And urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, there has not come a razor upon mine head. For if I have been a Nazarite unto God, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb, if I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. As you are taking your seat, would you help me spread this word to the person next to you or around you, and simply say, watch out for the spirit of Delilah. Sit down while you're telling somebody else, watch out for the spirit of Delilah. I want to talk about that today, the spirit of Delilah, or the spirit of persuasion. See, when I started to look it up about the spirit of Delilah, every study I found dealt with the word persuasion. Pastor, how can you get the spirit of Delilah and the spirit of persuasion to be the same thing? Well, let's go to the word and find out. I want to talk about the spirit of persuasion. The spirit of persuasion comes in many forms and often is so cunning and so crafty that its appearance may give off the illusion of simple, harmless suggestions. But when heeded to the spirit of persuasion, it will lead you to temptation and ultimately sin. Somebody say persuasion. For the purpose of persuasion, this spirit, is to cause those who know in their heart to do good to inevitably surrender surrender to evil, the spirit of persuasion. Throughout the Bible, we can see evidence of this spirit. First visible in certain situations and circumstances. First in the book of Genesis, when Lucifer came and slithered as a serpent to Eve and began to speak to Eve, trying to persuade her it's okay to eat of the fruit. This spirit is so powerful that it will speak things as though they are scriptures or words from God. Lucifer said, "You shall not surely die, for God doth not know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be of God as gods, knowing good and evil." He even began to speak to her, stating, "You can eat it. God's not going to know." Spirit of persuasion. Stay with me now. Being persuaded to believe a lie as a truth. And because of this, sin entered into the world. My brothers and sisters, the spirit of persuasion is a tricky, conniving, slick trick of the enemy. You ever meet somebody, you call you a slick Rick? You a slickster. Thank you, Sister Riley. You as sly as a fox. So here in the book of Judges, we can see how the spirit came upon Samson. The form of it is used to show itself through, and the end results of it is surrendering to the spirit of persuasion. Driven by the promise of money from the lords of the Philistines, Delilah sets off to lure and tempt Samson into giving up the one secret Samson was not supposed to tell. 3 times she caressed him. 3 times she spoke to him. 3 times she caused him to feel outside of himself. Let me share something with you, man. It's a proven fact, and all psychologists and teachers tell you that men react in physical ways, where ladies react in emotional ways. It was easy for Samson to react in such a physical way because he saw only one thing, a beautiful woman. And when she began to speak to him in a soft way or tell him things that his ears wanted and needed to hear, Samson began to tell lies. Now, it's not a woman-man thing I'm trying to get across today. I'm trying to tell you the power of persuasion. People can persuade you to believe or be something. So Delilah sets off 3 times. Delilah's first attempt to get the truth started lightly. Whenever the enemy wants to get to you, my brothers and sisters, he doesn't come at you hard at first. He comes at you lightly. He's got to feel you out. Just how saved are you really? So the enemy will throw light things. When this failed, she began to push a little more. That's what the devil does. I didn't get you here. But don't you think because you got one victory, it's over. You will have many victories if you stand in God. After failing again, she becomes angry. This is a characteristic of Lucifer. When he can't get you the first time, he can't get you the second time, now he gets angry. If I have any boxers in here, you will understand that in order to really know you've won the fight, get your opponent angry. Because see, Sister Renee, when you're angry, you're not thinking as clear as if you were calm. Am I right, Mr. Kung Fu Man? You get somebody angry, and you've already defeated them. Have I got a witness? But here it is, my brothers and sisters, after everything failed, Delilah begins to question his love. There's nothing worse than somebody questioning your love or loyalty.